Hello, Doofiend here, coming to you from my my Blender studio, and I'm just doing some work here. I am putting together these panels. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create ribs that go from this rear section of the cockpit to the front section of the cockpit, and I want to follow the curve that I've already got here. And I just want to show you how I'm doing that. I'm able to select these points right there, and I'm going to use my rear view, and I'm going to just edge it over to the edge of that. Too far. Okay, and then I'm going to grab these next pair and do the same thing, so I just want to follow the curve of the fuselage as best as I can here. I'm going to get to an absolute view here, and right to that outside point here. Let me zoom in here, get a little more precision work going on here. Alright. And as you can see, it's right there, and I've got these other guys, so I'm going to select those. They are pretty stinking close. And that one's right there. So I'm going to grab those and grab that. And I'm just going to follow this outside curve of this wall here. And that's how I'm going to shape the side of this fuselage. It looks like there's a little bit extra right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another point in, just like here. Yeah, just like that. So what I can do is I can then go back to this point and bring that all the way out and just follow the curve as best I can. I might need another one there, maybe, and there. So this is the process, and hopefully things will start looking pretty neat here with this. Looks like another one right there. So this is how it goes. I'm creating this so that it'll match up, and then I'll be able to do the rivets and skin across this side of the fuselage, and just by going from that corresponding point over to this corresponding point, and I'll be able to line it up off of my isographic projection and even get the right number of rivets and pacing of the rivets and seams and all that good stuff. However, this does take some time. Looks like I need to reset these guys. Zoom out and see how it. See, it doesn't quite sit right there. So let's reseat those guys. See what's going on with that. Is that better? Worse? Can't tell. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. Anyhow, quick YouTube video of me at work here. Oh, I lost my cursor. Everything's too gray. There's my cursor. Create a point right there. Zoom in on it really well here. Go back to the move tool, and we're just gonna gently put that into place. I'll give it some thickness to cover up some of the little inconsistencies by making these panels actually have some depth. And I'm just going to work it around this, and yeah, that will determine the shape of the side of the fuselage. And over here, I'll give you a sneak preview of what I've started over here. The gun hump. Yeah, save please. Gun hump. Alright, so using a similar process, I'm going to put this gun cover in place and extend it out and get the curve around the gun properly. I'm going to use up my isographic projection there. You can see that it's following as close as I can the drawing that I'm working from here. There'll be more bits to that, but that's going to then meet up down here, right there, with the other side, and the I know that's the electrical junction box cover. That's going to be that curved bit that I was working on, and then the firewall will be right there, and I can mount my oil tank. That's the oil tank filler. I believe that's the cartridge starter. So use like a modified shotgun shell to start the gun, or to start the engine. There's a peg there that sticks out for when you're working on the it's a footrest when you're having one foot on the wing there, working on reloading the gun or whatever you're doing around the engine, filling the oil, that sort of thing. But those will be things I get to here hopefully soon. And there's this engine air intake and the oil cooler intake. We'll get to that soon. Still working on my landing light. It's not quite right, but I was able to use this and that point to align the wing guns. I've used that point to line the nose gun. I've got to cut a groove out there for the gun. The air cooling on the gun is supposed to get air all around it. There's a little block over here that fits in around the... Oh, there goes my dogs. My co-pilots let me know that somebody's outside. Maybe somebody else walking a dog. Anyhow, so there's a little blast deflector there, little block, keeps the gun gases from getting on, and it's only on the starboard side. It's kind of weird. There's a little plug that'll go around this for when the antenna mast isn't mounted, and this wire coming off of that it goes to that same cover plate that I'm making here. Actually, no, it's over here. It goes over here, and then there is an ejection port. Let me get up my other temp file here. Open recent temp. Save. Yeah, go ahead and save. All right. So over here, zoom in. So there's that is the gun ejection port. There, the antenna mast wire attaches somewhere on here. I've got a photo reference that'll go with that. This is a stainless steel panel, so that'll be a different color than the rest of the airplane. It'll just be shiny, and the exhaust port will stick through. That is the wing base, and then that is the cover for the landing gear wheel that sticks out in the forward portion of that. I'd like to get to those eventually. As you can see, I've got a nice little cutout for the wheel well covers. That'll allow me to cut, when I build this, it'll allow me to cut this appropriate hole by building it vertically, then rotating it horizontally. That'll come after I get to the side of the cockpit panels and get the. Here, let me show you what I want to do with the. See, this isn't exactly square. These things don't exactly line up. I'm gonna get this to where it sits correctly on this rail, so it can move on the rail, and then here, let me move. Show you some of the errors here. Man, I got a lot of errors. So that's like some of these problem areas. I've been moving that around. But yeah, I'll get all this looking right eventually, hopefully. I know that my top and bottom are all right over there. Let me go back to the other isographic projection. Show you what I've been doing with that as I brought that to the correct level off of the drawing. There are these little corner brackets I want to put in here. When I get to that, there's this section that widens out. That is for the emergency release on the canopy slider. That'll be modeled in game, hopefully, as their emergency release. It's there on the rear canopy as well. But the focus right now is side panels and getting this done, and then I'll get to a lot of these other things I've mentioned. Really excited to get on it. It is a lot of fun to build this. Anyway, I'll get back to work, and I will see you guys in a future video.